This is Oshkosh Today, your connection to events and organizations in the Oshkosh area. Oshkosh Today is supported in part by the Friends of OCM, Aurora Healthcare, 855 North West Haven Drive. Set design provided by House of Flowers, 1920 Algoma Boulevard.
Hello everyone and welcome to Oshkosh Today. I'm your host Emily Mikowski and we have a great show lined up for you today. A lot of fun and exciting things happening in your city coming up this month. So let's go ahead and see what's on tap for today. First up, UW Oshkosh Theater is back in the studio to talk about their next production, The Bus Stop. They'll give us a little preview of what we can expect at this show. Scott Engel from the Otter Street Fishing Club will tell us all about a huge event they have coming up in February, the Otter Street Fishing Club Fishery. After that, I had a chance to get out to Oshkosh North earlier this week and visit with the lead characters in their next big musical, The Most Happy Fella, which they'll be performing at the Grand Opera House. And that's not all that North is working on right now. We've also got a few students from the Oshkosh North communities that are part of this program, which allows students to gain real-world experience. They'll explain the program for us and tell us how it has shaped what they've learned at school. Finally, our final guest from Habitat for Humanity is here to tell us about a benefit they have coming up. Home is where the heart is. And as always, we'll wrap up the show with a segment of Focus on Health from Aurora Healthcare. So let's go ahead and get right to it then. From UW Oshkosh Theater Department, we have Brian Van Devender and Alana Berthume. So thank you so much for coming in today, guys, with your difficult last names to say that we're talking about. Brian, you're the director and Alana, assistant director of The Bus Stop. So first, if one of you want to start out by telling us a little bit about the plot of the show.
Sure, I can do that. The Bus Stop is a play by William Inge. William Inge was a Pulitzer Prize winning playwright who wrote things like Picnic and Come Back Little Sheba, very kind of influential American playwright of the 1950s. The play takes place in a bus stop diner about 30 miles outside of Kansas City during a blizzard. So it's kind of timely in terms of all of the inclement weather that we've been having the last several weeks, right? And so what happens is there's a bus that's about to drop people off. It's on its way to Topeka. It has to make this emergency stop at this bus stop diner because of the weather, very late at night, and so 8 people are kind of trapped in this diner for most of the evening. The play starts out around midnight and goes until about 5 o'clock in the morning. And so it's about kind of what happens when you put 8 very different personalities into a very contained space under very bizarre circumstances. And people meet and fall in love and break up, and there are fights that erupt, and different kinds of things kind of come to the surface, which is really interesting.
Well, it definitely sounds interesting. Yeah. I mean, all in one small set, I'm assuming.
Absolutely.
Doesn't change much throughout the
Doesn't
show.
change at all, actually.
So, I mean, did that give you a challenge, having just that one static set there?
Do you want to take that? Do you want me to take that?
You can take it and I'll pitch in.
Sure. Sounds good. Did it pose a challenge? Yes and no. In some ways, it's not as difficult as other shows that I've directed. I'm actually used to directing big musicals back where I'm from in Illinois, like Les Miserables and To the Woods, where you have like multiple sets. And so having one space is actually somewhat easier because you have very specific entrances and exits, and you don't have to represent multiple locations. Except this has been actually, it's deceivingly tricky in that you have these people in this one space, but not everyone is always the focus of the scene, and so you're working with 2 actors whose characters are having a conversation, but then everybody else is doing things around them.
Okay.
And you have to come up with stage business, like, so you're going to read a book, and you're going to play the guitar, and you're going to wash the tables, and you're going to serve the food, and having to come up with those kinds of traffic patterns has been, I think, the biggest challenge. It was one of these things where I read the play originally, and I was like, this is really doable. And then once we got into rehearsals, everybody's like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Because it's not always in the script. So.
A lot of times, those things that are going on in the background are just as important as what's happening at the front of the stage, to make it that much more realistic. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah, definitely. Otherwise, people are just going to be staring blanklessly.
Yes, so.
And the playwright gives you a lot of latitude. He doesn't necessarily specify what everyone is doing at every single moment. So it's come to us to have to decide what is going on in the background.
Kind of get creative with
Exactly.
that a little bit. So how does this specific show fit in with the theme of your whole season here, the Voices of Perseverance?
What I would say that I think is probably the most interesting thing about the play is that all of the people who are trapped at the bus stop diner have very specific wants and needs that they have kind of been suppressing, and or have been denying themselves. And because of this bizarre situation of being trapped for a long period of time, all of these wants and needs kind of come to the surface, and then some people actually start to pursue them. And so I think the play, in lots of ways, is about what happens when you kind of deny yourself things that you've been wanting for a very long time, and what does it mean to persevere and to live a life in which you're kind of denying yourself certain things. And I know that's very vague, but you have to come to the show. You have to come to the show and see what it is that those people are wanting. And so in lots of ways, I think you watch these people who have been persevering by denying themselves a certain kind of gratitude, and you see what the consequence is of that.
Excellent. And Alana, what kind of show would you say this is? Is it more of an upbeat show or kind of more deep? What kind of audiences would enjoy a show like this?
I think that a lot of people would enjoy it. I'd say it would be good for high school students, but also for adults, all ages, I think would, well, not necessarily all ages. I don't know if kids would really.
Well, they might not get it, but I don't think there's anything
That's true.
that's really objectionable.
Yeah.
It was written in 1955, so it really has that flavor to it, those kinds of values. And I would say it has lots of funny moments, but there are also lots of very kind of sweet, sincere moments. I mean, as trite as it might be to say, there's a little of everything for everyone.
Kind of a dramedy.
Yes.
It is.
Gotta love that term.
And there's some humor, there's some love, there's some good fight choreography, there's a musical sequence. So.
A little something for everybody,
Exactly.
really. So, you said this play was written in when, 1855? 1955. What was it like putting this together on the college level with college students acting in it?
One of the very first things that we did was to try to research the world of the play. And so one of the things and the script is interesting because there's all these references to 1950s culture that are kind of dated. And if you were born in the 1990s or the 2000s, you might not be familiar with these references. And so one of the very first things that we did was to look them up, and we kind of created a glossary of terms. Okay. As a cast, everybody had a term or words that they were assigned. And so we really tried to figure out what is the setting and how does the setting affect their behavior. So I think in that sense, it provided a good opportunity to research, which is something that you don't necessarily always get to do as an actor unless you're working on a piece that's set in a very specific historical moment.
Right, kind of that educational aspect
Absolutely.
of it too.
Yeah.
What are some other things, as far as education goes, that people can have the chance to get out of the show? Not only the actors, but the people watching.
Well, like education-wise, we also have student designers for the show, so that's really good for them. We have a student costume designer and scenic designer.
And this show is their capstone project. They're doing this for their portfolio for their major.
Excellent.
And they've both had quite a bit of experience outside of this show, but seeing the two of them come together to do this show is really cool.
Absolutely.
They're a really good team.
Having all those different kinds of talents has got to be awesome to see. Can you tell us a little bit about the costumes? Speaking of that, what can we expect to see?
I've only seen Cherie's costume. I haven't seen the other costumes.
Okay.
But there's a Cherie, she's a chanteuse. And she has a fun little is it 1950s? It's like
it's a little earlier.
It's kind of like
Got
a
some fringe on it.
flapperish. Yeah, a fringy costume.
Great. So it's all these kinds of cool things to see, not only the acting, but
Absolutely.
the set and the costumes. All kind of comes together to create such a cool thing.
Absolutely.
How can people get tickets for the show? And actually, when exactly is the show?
The show opens February 12th. We run February 12th through the 15th. I believe all performances are at 7:30.
7:30, yep.
And you can tell them how to get tickets
Yes.
because you know that very well.
The Sunday performance is at 2 o'clock.
Yes.
Tickets can be bought at the box office the week of the show. We open the Monday of the show. And we're open from 12 to 4, and then again at 6 o'clock before the show starts. And then you can also order tickets online at uwosh.edu/theater, R-E, not E-R. You could call, but we're under renovations right now, so we don't really.
Right. Best
Yeah.
idea is to go online or stop by.
Definitely. Yeah.
All right. And then actually once more, I don't know if you covered this or not yet, the prices of the tickets.
Oh, the prices. General admission is $13. Seniors and alumni with an Oshkosh ID, those are $10, and students are $4.
Excellent. Well, I think we're all really looking forward to seeing this next production. So thank you so much for stopping in and telling us
Thanks
all
for
about
having
it.
us. We're
Thank
really
you.
excited to show it.
Yes. Coming up next, something big is happening at Menominee Park in February, and we'll tell you all about it when we come back right here on Oshkosh Today.
Take it slow, take it slow, take it slow. When we see a roundabout, take it slow. Then we pick the correct lane and take it slow. When we see a car approach, we yield to the left. When we're in that roundabout, we don't pass anybody yet. Take it slow, take it slow, take it slow.
Visit WisconsinRoundabouts.com for more info from the Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
Do you know or have a family member with a disability? Cerebral Palsy of Mideast, Wisconsin is here to help. We offer programs and services that make a positive difference for individuals that are affected by a variety of disabilities. Volunteers are always welcome, and your financial gifts are truly appreciated and tax deductible. For more details, log on to www.cpmideastwis.com or call 1-800-261-1895. Thanks for supporting Cerebral Palsy of Mideast, Wisconsin.
Welcome back to Oshkosh Today, and now we have Scott Engel in the studio from the Otter Street Fishing Club to tell us about a pretty big event we have coming up on the 1st, right, Scott?
Right, it's our annual fishery. Our club's been in existence now 53 years, and this is our original fundraiser. This is what started our club out, and we've expanded it into actually a 2-day event. The 31st, Friday the 31st, we have road trip playing Friday night from 7 to 10:30. And that should be a great event. It's a heated tent. The tent's 180 feet by 40 feet, so there's plenty of room to pack them in. And then we move on to our traditional event on Saturday. That goes from 10 a.m. till 5. And there's various things that go on out there. We've got motorcycle races. We have ATV races on the ice, which is pretty interesting to see these things tearing up the ice, but they're all studded tires, and they really go. We have kids' games. We actually have that for a couple hours from around noon to 2. Actually the fishery, and we give cash prizes for walleye, perch, white bass, and northern. And then the traditional tent with the adult entertainment in there, and we've got paddle wheels and all that kind of good stuff.
A lot of entertainment kind of things happening
Right.
around there. You mentioned some races going on with ATVs. Can you tell us a little bit more about those?
Right. Well, we get a couple clubs to come there every year, and that's the entertainment outside the tent. It's really fun to watch these guys. I can't even imagine the speeds they hit out there, and to watch it is very entertaining. You couldn't catch me trying to do that. It's crazy. It's crazy. They're wild fun.
Okay, and it's not only ATVs, but other things as well that are racing?
It's just pretty much motorcycles and
Okay.
ATVs, right.
Excellent. And now I know there's a lot of different drawings and things like that happening. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Right. Our main raffle, we have about $10,000 worth of major prizes, starting with a brand new ATV this year from Winnebago Land, a trip to Las Vegas for 2 with flight and hotel, all the good stuff to go along with that. and then various prizes through there. After that, then we have about another 300 prizes that are donated from area businesses here in town that support our club. So, hopefully everyone's a winner that day.
And I was looking at the list, and even like down to the 20th place, I was thinking that, hey, I would take that. That's an awesome.
Yeah,
those
top 20 prizes are great. And then we've got like area businesses. We just got one last night where it's a free boat rental for a weekend, taking it from Sweetwater Marina. I mean, that's a very nice donation for somebody to take a pontoon out for the weekend. Those are the type of donations we get from other businesses here in town that really help us out.
Excellent. So how can people enter into these different drawings? Is there going to be a spot at the event that is going to be a little post for that?
Right. We've got tickets at a lot of businesses right now selling them. We have them at our headquarters at Jerry's Bar. We will have them in the parking lot there. We'll have people selling in the parking lot. We'll have an area in the tent where we're selling tickets. Tickets are just $2 a piece, and you get 3 stubs on every ticket. So for $2, you got 3 chances.
Excellent. And now you also mentioned a fishery. For someone like me who knows nothing about fishing, can you explain to us a little bit about what that is and what it all involves?
Yeah, basically you can fish that day, anytime that morning, and then you have to weigh in by 3:30 Saturday afternoon. And the fish have to be caught on Lake Winnebago or the Winnebago chain. It could be Lake Butte or Poygan. And the 4 categories I said were walleye, perch, white bass, and northern. And the top 3 prizes for each one of those categories is $100, $75, and $50 for each one of those categories.
Excellent. Do you find a lot of people entering? Do you find that to be one of your bigger?
Well, some years we have a good amount of fish, but the last couple of years fishing's been relatively slow. We haven't had as many as we'd like to have as far as the fish goes, but the whole day is a great time.
Great. And we also have some music to look forward to. Can you tell us a little bit more about this band?
Road Trip is well known, I think, in this city. They do a phenomenal job for us. They fought through it last year. We really had a rough year with weather last year. Tried to heat a tent when it was actually -5 and 25 below wind chill.
Really?
And they put on one heck of a show out there for us, considering we probably couldn't keep the tent more than about 45 degrees or so playing out there for 3 hours. They do a tremendous job and draw one heck of a crowd.
Great. Well, hopefully the weather will be a little bit better than it has been
That's
lately.
what we're hoping for. We got plenty enough ice out there right now.
Yes, definitely. Now you have a lot of sponsors for this event. I mean, all these prizes have been donated. I mean, food and drink and everything. Where do you find all these sponsors?
Sometimes we canvass for them, and sometimes it's just through the years. I think we've been around a certain amount of time that I would say the Otter Street Fishing Club is well known in the city of Oshkosh. Mm-hmm. And the support is very much appreciated. We try to get new businesses involved every year. Some of them are major sponsors that take care of us, and to be a major sponsor, it's a minimum of $1,500 donation per year. So those are our majors. And then for events like this, and we have banquets and we have a children's fishery, all these different things. Businesses come out of the woodwork to help us, especially the kids' fishery. I think that's the best thing we do. It's a really great family day out there, and it's nice to see the kids have a great time.
Right, an event like this, there really is something for everyone.
Right, and I kind of look at it as right now it's only January, but I think a lot of us are already sick of these type of temperatures and being cooped up and all this. It's kind of a way to beat cabin fever, get out and see some friends that you haven't seen in a while, and it's a nice day out.
Yes, and all of the proceeds go to support Otter Street Fishing Club. What kind of things does the Otter Street Fishing Club do outside of this event?
Well, our bylaws say that we do anything for the betterment of Lake Winnebago and the Winnebago chain, which goes with a lot of city projects we've done through the years. We've done a fishing pier in Menominee Park for $35,000. We've done boat launches and boat docks and a lot of different things like that with the city. There's been various projects that council comes to us or the Parks Department comes to us for help with, and then we've done a lot with the DNR as far as, everybody's got limited funds nowadays. We've done a DNR shocking boat for their biologists, which is $35,000 to help them, understand what's going on in the lake. There's been plenty of things we've done with structure in the lake to help certain kinds of fish rebound, like the Sauger project we've done. It's a fish that was nearly extinct in the lake, and we're trying to get that fish back to a healthy population. Various projects like that.
Never a shortage of projects, it sounds like.
No, you know, like I was saying before, I think everywhere you look, everybody could use a little help right now with all the cutbacks that everybody's seeing. So, and I guess with our bylaws, at least it saves us from that because there's just so many places that you could put money into nowadays.
Definitely. And another little exciting thing you recently did was a little appearance on the Weather Channel as well. So
yeah, that was very that was pretty cool. You know, to see the national TV here in Oshkosh, and we got Donnie Herman and I went down with the Otter Street trucks and got to, you know, they put us on TV plowing and showing what it's like to live up in good old Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
Beautiful Oshkosh,
You
Wisconsin.
bet.
Yes. So we got about a minute left. Do you want to tell us briefly some other projects that you have looking forward to?
Well, I'll just talk about some things that are coming up. March 27th, we have a wild game feed that we do at Primo Restaurant, and that's turned into one heck of an event. Tickets, we already have tickets for that. They're $25 a piece. We limit that to 200 people. Lots and lots of prizes at that. It's a great time. Then we'll be moving into our summer walleye tournament that we do with Battle on Bago, and that's Father's Day weekend. And then, as I spoke about the children's fishery, we have that one. That's always the second Saturday in August, and we start accepting entrance of children for that towards the end of July. We usually have at least 400 children in that event, and it's held in the north end of Menominee Park. It's shore fishing. Just about everything is donated, from bait to food to soda to every child gets a prize. It's really a great, great day. And we also have one more banquet that we'll be having this year at Beckett's, September 27th, Sportsman's Banquet, typical of any other banquet like Ducks Unlimited or any of the other bigger organizations.
Great. So a lot of other events to look forward to. Where can people find more information?
Well, you can go to our website, which is www.theosfc.net, or to our Facebook page under the Otter Street Fishing Club.
Excellent. And then once more, if you want to recap the Otter Street Fishery dates, times, and location.
First off, Saturday night, the tent opens at 6 o'clock with Road Trip. Road Trip will begin playing at 7 o'clock, and we'll play till 10:30. And we'll rebound right away Saturday morning. We'll be opening at 10 a.m. and go till 5 p.m.
Great. Well, thank you so much for coming in, Scott, and telling us all about this cool event to look forward to next month.
Thank you.
Coming up right after this short break, I got to take a little field trip over to Oshkosh North and learn about their upcoming musical, The Most Happy Fella.
Do you know or have a family member with a disability? Cerebral Palsy of Mideast, Wisconsin is here to help. We offer programs and services that make a positive difference for individuals that are affected by a variety of disabilities. Volunteers are always welcome, and your financial gifts are truly appreciated and tax deductible. For more details, log on to www.cpmideastwis.com or call 1-800-261-1895. Thanks for supporting Cerebral Palsy of Mideast, Wisconsin.
Welcome back to Oshkosh Today, and now I am here at Oshkosh North with Bridget Duffy, Ben Punla Smith, and Grace Subat from Oshkosh North Choir, and they're going to tell us about the next big performance we have coming up. So thanks for bringing us out here today, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Now, Bridget, you're the director of the musical. Can you tell us a little bit of background on the musical? What's it all about?
Sure. This musical is called The Most Happy Fella, and it takes place in the 30s in California. And we have a young waitress who receives this mysterious letter in a menu, and she becomes pen pals with this man she doesn't remember, and they fall in love over letters, and he sends her a picture of someone else, and then she comes to see him and realizes it's not the person she thought he was. He's actually way older than her, so it's sort of what happens from there.
Okay, it sounds kind of like an old school internet dating thing where people pretend to be someone else. And
Definitely.
Now, Ben, you play Tony in the play,
Yes.
one of the main characters. Can you tell us a little bit about your character?
Well, my character is the old man who sends someone else's picture, so I don't know, but it might seem a little weird, but it's actually a pretty cute story if you take the time to watch the whole thing play out. And it's really a story about how love doesn't care about age or what another person, who a person is. Love between two people is unconditional, really.
Excellent. And Grace, you play Rosabella. Can you tell us about your character?
Well, she's very complicated. I would say that she goes through a lot of emotions throughout the musical. First, she starts out in love, but then when she gets the picture and finds out it's not Tony, then she gets angry, but then she falls back in love with Tony. So she has many emotions, but overall she's a good person.
Did you find it a hard character to play?
Yes, because you don't really find who she is until you go through all of the parts she's in, because you don't know what she is like when she's normal, I guess.
Right. A wide range of emotions throughout that character. Bridget, do you want to tell us who wrote The Most Happy Fella? Is this a pretty well-known musical?
It's really not a well-known musical, but the composer is well-known. The composer is Frank Lesser, and he's famous for writing the song Baby It's Cold Outside and other musicals that are way more popular, Guys and Dolls and How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. So this show he wrote in the middle of those two shows, and it's more operatic, so it's not performed as much because it's pretty challenging. There's tons of music and it's really difficult, but there's still some pretty catchy tunes as well.
And I know you said that there's some pretty well-known songs in the musical. What would you say is the most well-known?
Standing on the Corner Watching All the Girls Go By. It's sort of a barbershop quartet song.
Okay.
So that's the song. It became a radio hit and sold records by groups in like the 50s and 60s.
So people watching the musical will hear that song and kind of recognize it a little bit.
Probably, yep.
Okay. And you guys, do you want to tell us some of your favorite songs? You guys are up there singing them. What are some of your favorite ones to perform?
Well, my favorite song isn't really one that I sing. It's called Big D, and it's basically an anthem for the city of Dallas, Texas. But it's a really fun song.
Excellent.
A lot of energy in that song. It's a lot of fun.
Very cool. What about you, Grace?
Probably my favorite song to sing is Happy to Make Your Acquaintance, which is a peppier song between Tony and Rosabella, and it's when they're first meeting, and it's really catchy. I find myself singing it a lot.
Yeah, very fun. That's a good problem to have for a musical, right? So Bridget, how did you choose this show? It's not too well known of a musical. How did you decide on it?
I really knew nothing about it. Last year we did Fiddler on the Roof, which is really popular and well known, and I wanted to do something more obscure. I think students get to be more creative when they're not doing something just recreating what someone else has done. It's something pretty fresh for all of us. I didn't know much about it at all, and I watched it, and I really was captivated by the music. I thought it was really catchy and beautiful. There's some really nice ballads and fun upbeat songs like Ben was talking about. So that's what really struck me, and I knew we had the talent at North this year to do it. We have a lot of really strong voices. So if I was ever going to do this show, this was the year to do it.
So with all this music, you have to have singers besides the main characters. How many people are in this production?
We have a cast of about 45, and then we also have a pit orchestra that's all students, and that's about 12 or 15 students, maybe more than that. And then we have a stage crew as well. It's about 10 people. So.
Excellent. So with all these people, what would you say is the theme of the musical? Is it more of a serious show, or is it more, upbeat and happy?
I think it is both. It's definitely a love story. It's a drama. There's some really serious parts of the storyline, but we have two supporting characters who are really funny and add a lot of humor to it. So it's a typical musical that's a love story, but it also has comedy in it as well.
Excellent. And what's kind of cool about this this musical is it's going to be at the Grand Opera House. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, every year North does their shows at the Grand Opera House, their musicals, and we're really lucky to be able to use that space. It's beautiful, and we've been performing there for years. So it's a cool stage, and the Grand works with us to make it the best possible show it can be.
Yes, and what a cool surrounding to be in when you're seeing a musical like this, especially. Just such a cool historic area.
Right.
So I guess we got about a minute left, so if you want to maybe go over the dates and times for the show that we can look forward to.
Sure. The show is at the Grand Opera House February 6th through the 9th. Tickets are available through the Grand Opera House box office. So they're $12 for adults and $10 for seniors or students. School district employees get in free, and North and West students also get in free.
And you can go to grandoperahouse.org to order some tickets or just call the box office.
Yep.
Well, I know we're all looking forward to seeing the play, and again, you can go to the grandoperahouse.org to find more information about buying tickets and everything, and good luck to you guys on all your dress rehearsals coming up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We will be right back with more Oshkosh Today right after this.
Toxic chemicals and carcinogens are leaching into the environment. It's happening right where we live, work, and play. Everywhere. Cigarette butts are toxic waste. Let's stop the toxic litter. Learn more at rethinkbutts.org.
And we are back in the studio right here on Oshkosh Today. A group at Oshkosh North is kind of breaking the mold a little bit with the stereotypical high school education, and that group is called Communities. So today we have two community students in the studio here to tell us about the program and some events you have coming up. We have April McWilliams and Jack Hoffman. Thank you so much for coming in today, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
So what is Communities? I mean, for someone who doesn't know or has never heard of it, how would you describe the program?
Communities is a project-based learning program, and what we do is we have different projects that have to do with impacting our community, mostly.
Okay, so, I mean, when exactly did it start? Is it just this year that it just got started?
It started last year.
Okay. What kind of, projects have you guys been working on, besides the big one that we're going to talk about?
In the beginning of the year, we had a green school project, which focused on, green environment and stuff around Oshkosh North, because we have the woods back there.
Yeah.
Last year they had a Veterans Day project that they did with veterans, and Communities 2 had a drug awareness type project, which they focused in our community.
Okay, so, I mean, what kinds of people do you work with within the community? Is it kind of a volunteer basis, or, I mean, just different people at businesses and local nonprofits, that kind of thing?
Mostly, lately we've been focusing on nonprofit experiences. We have taken field trips to St. Vincent de Paul's or the Restore, and we've helped out there. We've cleaned it, we've worked at the food pantry, seeing kind of what they do and how they experience their lives in the community, and we got to experience how other people live their lives in the community besides our own lives.
Okay. So is this class open to any students, or do you have to have any kind of prereqs to get into it? Or
to get in Communities, you have to fill out a survey type thing, which asks a lot of questions about experiences you've had, like Communities, and you can find that at the Communities website.
Okay, what's the Communities website?
Communitiesonhs.org.
Okay, and I know you guys have a Facebook page, which is really cool. You guys are always putting pictures of where you're going and what you're doing. So if you just search Oshkosh North Communities, I think it is.
It's called Communities at Oshkosh North.
Yes, so I mean, people can definitely check out that page to learn a little bit more too. April, what attracted you to the program, the Communities program?
Last year as an 8th grader, we went to an orientation, which was actually a couple weeks ago for these 8th graders this year. And I had gone, and previous Communities students had presented to us, and that's what got me interested in it, was seeing how they enjoyed it so much.
Mm-hmm. They're passionate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Jack, what about you?
I also went to the orientation, and I thought it was very interesting. I've always liked going on my own with projects and stuff and learning about real life skills. I thought it could really help me in the future.
And how do you think you'll benefit for this? I mean, not only throughout high school, but even outside of school.
I think it will be great on college applications.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a new program, and you can say that you're on TV.
Yes, which is by far the best part, right?
Yes, it is.
What about you, April?
A lot of it has to do with college as well. It's great on college applications because not only in the Communities program is we're volunteering a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So volunteering shows how you interact with your community, and like for college applications, it's great for that.
And just working with you guys over the past semester, I just noticed how much you work together and interact with each other, so much more than any other, college class I had ever taken, really. So I think that's really big to kind of teach you guys teamwork and working towards a common goal, too. Speaking of that, you do have another big project that you guys have been working on called iPads for Autism. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
These past months, we've been learning about technology and how it's affecting our lives to this day. And a lot has grown since like the 1980s. iPads, laptops, internet, it's all becoming more broad topic to our community. And so we were researching how technology affects our community. And then we got into the topic of autism and how technology can help children with autism. And technology, like iPads, they help autistic kids so much. And some kids don't have communication skills, they can't really talk. So there are apps on the iPad that helps that. Like they type in what you're supposed to, what they want to say, and then you press play, and it speaks aloud for them.
Right, kind of telling them how they're feeling and those kind of emotions.
Yep.
And now this event that's kind of leading up to it, Jack, you're on the basketball team, and the whole thing kind of comes to a head here this coming Tuesday at the basketball game.
Yes, it's the Oshkosh Northwest basketball game. It's a big rivalry game in Oshkosh. So there should be a lot of people from our community there. That's why we're picking that date, so to sell as many tickets as we can.
Okay, and so you're raising funds by selling these raffle tickets. How can people buy tickets at the game?
You can buy tickets from the freshman game, which starts at 5:45, as well as the JV game. And the tickets, you can't buy them after halftime of the varsity game, which is around 8 o'clock, 8:15-ish.
Okay.
Tickets are, one ticket is $1, 6 for $5, and an arm length for $20.
Excellent. And so all the money you raise at this game is going towards purchasing iPads for students with autism, which is so cool. Such a cool project.
It is.
And then we've got about a little minute left here, so if you want to tell us really briefly what other projects you have looking forward to.
We have what other projects do we have coming up?
Kind of continuing to look more towards other people to work with and
like partners and stuff.
Networking a little bit, maybe?
Yeah.
Excellent. So once more, maybe if you just want to tell us the date of the basketball game and the time.
January 28th from 5:45 to halftime of the varsity game, which is around 8:15-ish.
Excellent. Well, thank you both, April and Jack,
Thank
for
you
coming
for having
in and
us.
talking to us about this really exciting new program. I think it's really cool. So thanks.
Thank you.
We're going to take another short break here on Oshkosh Today, and when we come back, we'll learn about the Habitat for Humanity, Home is Where the Heart Is.
Hi, I'm Mayor Bergtower, and I'm asking for your help. The city has several boards and commissions that play important roles in just about every aspect of local government. Whether it's the Parks Board or the Landmarks Commission, these and other boards act as a forum for citizens to address their concerns and questions about Oshkosh city government. The boards also provide members the opportunity to make positive suggestions to the council or city staff to move the city forward. So here's where we need your help. For our city to work effectively, we need active citizen participation. Many of our boards and commissions currently need members. We're asking for just a few hours of your time each month to serve on one of our boards or commissions and help to ensure a strong democratic process. So please consider serving on a city board or commission. For an application, visit the city website, stop by the city manager's office in City Hall, or call 236-5000. Thank you for your interest, and we look forward to your possible involvement.
for joining us on Oshkosh today. And now I'm joined by our final guest of the program, Jay Barrientos. I hope I pronounced your last name right. From Habitat for Humanity. Thanks for coming in today.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Now, you have a cool event coming up, but first off, do you want to just tell us a little bit about Habitat for Humanity?
Absolutely. Habitat's been around in Oshkosh for quite a while now. We've had a great year. 2013 just came to a close, and like I said, it was an absolutely awesome year. We put up 3 homes, 3 families moved in, so really, really exciting.
Excellent. And where were the homes located throughout Oshkosh?
We've had one actually not too far from here, actually.
Okay.
We've had over on Winnebago Avenue, one on School Avenue, and then another one up on Jefferson Street, a little further north.
Very exciting. So good year, 2013. Hopefully 2014 brings great things too.
Oh, it's going to. It's really exciting. We're going to jump off the year with a rehab home, which is something Habitat Oshkosh hasn't done in a while. So that's really exciting to take an old home, rehab it, make it nice and new. And then we're going to close out the year with 3 more brand new homes throughout the community. So big year planned.
Yeah, lots planned, a lot of work ahead, but all
exciting.
worth it.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to talk about your home, or what is it? The Home is Where the Heart event. Can you tell us about that? When is it?
Absolutely. The event is Saturday, March 29th. It's going to be held over at La Shores Banquet Hall. Okay. Doors open about 5. So.
All right, so what can we expect at the event?
The event is mainly circled around the artwork. This community, we're so blessed to have awesome artists and talented artists at the same time. So if you ever, the gallery walk, for instance, you get to see some of that, and which we'll be at in February and March, displaying some of the donated artworks. So
great. So, are people able to purchase art at this event, or is it more of a dinner type thing, or?
Actually, both. The event features a live and silent auction. We're going to have a panel judge and put about 5 to maybe 7 pieces in the live auction. The rest will be put in silent auction, and we'll do a full plated dinner, and it's going to be a great time.
Excellent. So how can people, do you need to get a ticket for the event, or is it anyone can go?
It is open to the public, but it is, yes, you have to purchase a ticket. We have a few places you can get tickets, obviously at the Oshkosh Store right on the frontage road, Kohler Street, and CCF Bank, which is the bank inside of Walmart. Everyone knows where Walmart is. Yes. So, and then we also have an online website. You can look us up on look the event up on Facebook and see where that online website is. So.
Okay, how much are the tickets?
The tickets are $50 a person, and then it's $375 for a corporate table of 8.
Oh, perfect. And now this event raises funds for Habitat. What exactly are the funds used for within that?
All the proceeds that are raised at the event, regardless whether it's a pure out donation or through the auctions, 100% of the funding is going to go towards those 4 homes that we're going to put up this year. So every dollar is going to impact a family as we finish out 2014.
Okay, and is this the first time we've had this event, or has it been a recurring thing?
This is actually our 4th annual, so it's really cool. It's starting to gain some steam, and some people are starting to recognize the name, so it's really fun.
Very exciting. Well, we're all looking forward to it. Could we talk a little bit more about Habitat? I know you talked about a rehab house versus a new house. What's the difference between those projects?
Well, the rehab house is where we take something that's existing. In this case, we were able to acquire a home through a bank program, and it just needs some major repairs. It's not past its life term, but it just needs some repairs. So we're going to go in there, take it essentially down to its bones, and refresh it, make it nice and new again. Whereas new, we dig a basement
from the ground up.
Ground up, so the old-fashioned way. So.
Okay, so how can families? What kind of families are able to benefit from the Habitat for Humanity program?
Our home ownership program and our home repair program both work with families that are in the low to moderate income ranges. So those are the folks that are in the 30 to 60% income brackets for our county. Those families can, give us a call over at the Habitat office, and they can work through a few more of the criteria for applying.
Do you find that you have a lot of families that are applying, or is it usually you're able to provide those families that apply what they need?
We have to go through quite a few applications. It's always the old saying is you can't take a round peg and fit it into a square hole. So we go through quite a few applicants, but I'm really happy, and we're really blessed to get great partner families. Our application process is set up so that we get to work with the best families, and so it's. At the end, it makes us just extremely blessed and joyful for what we do. So.
Yes, and how can people get involved? If someone's looking to volunteer, help out, or in any way, how can they get involved?
Absolutely, that's a great question. You can look us up online, give us a call, look at our Facebook page. Habitat Oshkosh, we're up on Facebook, and our volunteer opportunities range all the way from the construction or the restore, all the way up to a meal provider, and even a board member. If someone has certain skills in that field, they can definitely volunteer their skills. So.
Now, are all of the positions within these projects, are they all on a volunteer basis? So, going from the planning to the house to the actual building of the house?
Almost all of the positions are volunteer basis, yes. We have a build committee that helps us design homes and make a home so it's perfect for that family.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all volunteer positions. We have a paid staff of about five, and so otherwise, yeah, all volunteers, so it's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's excellent to find that many people that are willing to come together for this common good project.
Yeah. We're really blessed with a good community, so.
Definitely. And you mentioned the Restore. Can you tell us a little bit about that? What exactly is the Restore?
The Restore is a great outlet for new and used building materials, but it's just not building materials. It's furniture, appliances, light fixtures, whether you're looking to change that one ugly light in your house out, or you have a light that you changed out and you just don't want to throw it away.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a great retail outlet. It diverts a ton of materials from landfills on an annual basis. Since opening, it's been in excess of 60 tons, I believe. So it's it's a lot of material. So you can see it right on the frontage road, South Kohler Street. So.
And anyone can go and shop there and get whatever they need for their homes?
Yes, absolutely. It is open to the public. That's believe it or not, it's a big myth of the Habitat Restore, but yes, open to the public, open right now 7 days a week, so if the lights are on, feel free to stop in.
Excellent. And you're able to, donate things to the Restore as well, correct?
Yes, absolutely. Like I said, anything from building materials to furniture, you can just pull up to the side of the building, there's a door there, and you usually run over a little buzzer, and there's volunteers inside that are happy to help. So
excellent. I know they have a Facebook page too. They're always posting cool things about different crafts you can do with the things that you can find there. So check them out on Facebook as well.
Yes, absolutely.
We got a little bit of time left, so if you want to briefly just recap the Home is Where the Heart Is event, the date, time, and what we can expect.
Absolutely. The date is Saturday, March 29th. About 5 o'clock p.m. the doors are going to open. Right now we have 23 confirmed artists, all local, and they're going to, it's going to be a great evening. We do have some entertainment lined up. I'm not going to give that away yet, what it is. So if anyone wants to come, you're going to have a great time.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming in and telling us not only about Habitat, but about this cool event that you have coming up too.
Thank you for having me.
So now it's time to focus on health with Ted Stefaniak. This week we are going to learn about peripheral arterial disease.
This Focus on Health segment is brought to you by Aurora Healthcare.
Hello and welcome to Focus on Health. I'm Ted Stefaniak. Today we're at the Aurora Medical Center in Oshkosh, and we're actually standing in the cardiac cath lab. A lot of amazing technology in this room. Hopefully you never need it, but it's things like lifestyle and family history that make that decision as to whether you're actually going to need help here at Aurora. And that's going to be our focus on health today as we sit down with Dr. Sumit Ringwala. Well, thank you for joining us today. We're talking about arterial disease. Tell us, what exactly is that?
So when you think about arterial disease, it's basically too much cholesterol going into the walls of your arteries. When we talk about peripheral arterial disease, which is what we're talking about, it's arteries outside of the heart. Mostly when people talk about peripheral arterial disease, it's arterial disease in the legs. That's where people notice it the most. But arterial disease can happen everywhere in your body. It can happen in your kidneys, it can happen in your aorta, it can happen in your neck, your carotid disease, it can cause strokes, and it can cause, you can even have it in the arteries that go into your gut and supply your digestive system with blood.
Yeah, we've seen some video, you showed us some video before we started taping here, and actually the garbage that comes out of your arteries. Does that pretty much affect everyone, or is there a certain group that it affects more?
I think when you think about arteries, you got to think of it like a warehouse. You know, everybody's got the same type of wear out. They all have arterial walls. And the way that it affects people differently is if you have high cholesterol, you're putting more stuff into the warehouse. And you have high bad cholesterol, you're putting more stuff into the warehouse. And if you have good cholesterol, basically takes stuff out of that warehouse. And so when you have somebody that has a big family history that is bad of heart disease or peripheral vascular disease, you have too much bad stuff going in and not enough good stuff coming out of that warehouse.
Pretty much everybody has some type of arterial buildup. I mean, even at a very young age. But what puts a person more at risk?
So when you think about risk factors of heart disease, risk factors include diabetes, age greater than 70, family history of heart disease, high blood pressure, and really having high cholesterol. Those are the main risk factors. And when you think about modifiable risk factors, which means things that you can change your blood pressure by taking your pills, your cholesterol by taking your pills, and you can stop smoking. Those are the factors that you can actually change.
Symptom-wise, we all have some kind of blockage, but at what point, what would be some of the symptoms that a person would have to realize that they're going through to actually seek out medical attention?
First of all, if you start to experience these symptoms, you should talk to your primary care doctor. The symptoms actually include basically heaviness in your legs, numbness in your legs, tingling in your feet, and a lot of times those symptoms worsen when you exert yourself. When we're specifically talking about arterial disease in your legs, it amounts to walking up a flight of stairs or 2 flights of stairs that before you really didn't have any problem, but now, you know, your legs are hurting, your calf is hurting when you get to the top of the stairs. This basically, a lot of times, people when they're older say, well, I'm just getting old. But, you know, it's not, it doesn't have to be like that. A lot of times, when you have peripheral disease, it creeps up on you. So you start to get cramping at 250 yards. You're like, well, now I can't walk more than 250 yards. Then you start getting at 200 yards, then 100 yards, and then at some point in time, you just can't walk anymore.
Yeah. Well, if you're starting to experience some of these symptoms, or you've got a family history, or maybe some of the other risk factors, screening, I would imagine, is the next step for those people.
Yeah, and when you go to your primary care provider, what they will most likely do is ask you family history, ask you questions about high blood pressure, ask you some questions about risk factors, and then also your symptoms. And once you start to have symptoms, it is very important for them to screen you. And the screening that they do is what we call an ankle brachial index and segmental pressures. This is specifically for your lower extremities. And what they do is they check the blood pressures in your arms and compare it to the blood pressures in your calves. And if you have a big difference in blood pressures, it can be indicative of disease in the arteries that supply blood down into your legs.
What are some of the treatment options then?
So some of the most important treatments are actually preventative and lifestyle modification. You got to get your diabetes under control. You have to get your high blood pressure under control. You have to have your cholesterol under control. That's where you start. You have to get those risk factors under control because those are risk factors that affect all the blood vessels in your body, including your heart, including the blood vessels into your head, including the blood vessels into your legs. If you control those, you have less of a chance of getting a stroke, of getting a heart attack. And those are what peripheral arterial disease is it also is a big time risk factor for the other diseases of vessels in your body. And one of the most important things you do is change the risk, modify the risk factors that you can modify, lose weight, do all those exercise things. That decreases your heart attack and stroke risk. But if it's specific to your legs, after you've done a walking program where you're in our peripheral vascular disease rehab and we push you to walk and you're still having pain in your legs, we have a couple options. One, we can do something that's a little bit minimally invasive, which is an endovascular procedure, and that's something that I do. And what we do is we go in with an angiogram, take a look and see what your leg's vasculature looks like. And if we have blockages, we can put a wire past those blockages and try and fix it with a balloon or a stent, or even try to take out some of that cholesterol plaque by an atherectomy, which is scraping out the side and pulling out some of the cholesterol.
Yeah, and it sounds like taking care of some of those risk factors, making some adjustments in your lifestyle, certainly might prevent a professional visit to see you.
Exactly.
Well, we appreciate you taking some time with us today.
Thank you very much.
Now, if you're experiencing any of the symptoms that Dr. Ringwala talked about, or you have family history, or any other questions about arterial disease, you should contact your primary care provider. Or you can call Dr. Ringwala at Aurora Medical Center at 303-8700. You can also find Dr. Ringwala and his partners over at Mercy Medical Center, and you can contact them at 223-2000. I'm Ted Stefaniak, and we'll see you next time on Focus on Health.
This Focus on Health segment has been brought to you by Aurora Healthcare.
Making the world a better place is an intricate puzzle. And piece by piece, the women and men of Rotary have worked hard to fight hunger, promote literacy, and move the world toward peace. But there is still much to be done, still some missing pieces. And one of those missing pieces is you. Learn how you can help Rotary put together a better world at Rotary.org. Rotary, humanity in motion.
You have cabin fever? The Otter Street Fishing Club has a cure. Starting Friday night, January 31st, with music by Road Trip. Tent opens at 6, followed by the 53rd Annual Fishery, Saturday, February 1st. So don't miss the fun, including music, ice racing, fishing, and kids' games. More than $10,000 in prizes. January 31st and February 1st at Menominee Park in Oshkosh. For more details, log on to theosfc.net or the Otter Street Fishing Club on Facebook.
Thanks again, Ted, and it looks like that's going to do it for this episode of Oshkosh Today. Make sure you tune into CATV2 for all of your community programming, and check us out at oshkoshcommunitymedia.org for replays of your favorite shows. You can also go to YouTube channel and share them with your friends. You can also hear Oshkosh Today and other programs on the radio at 101.9 WOCT. Don't forget to like our Facebook page or follow us on Twitter for both city and programming updates. And finally, if you're a Pinterest fan, make sure you check out our board for the latest snapshots of the city. Don't forget to tune in to WOCT for the new music mix with balanced combination of blues, jazz, light rock, cocktail, swing, eclectic, and local artists completely commercial-free. The new WOCT is perfect for either at home or at work. Music blocks of specialty formats will obviously continue on the weekends, and as always, WOCT will bring you information updates from your local government and provide live meeting coverage. The OCM card is on sale right now, so you can find more information about that at friendsofocm.org. It's only $10, and it's also available at Hardee's, Two Brothers, and your local nonprofits. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, you can email me at emikowski@ci.oshkosh.wi.us. Thanks again for joining us on Oshkosh Today, and we'll see you next time.
Oshkosh Today was supported in part by the Friends of OCM, Aurora Healthcare, 855 North West Haven Drive. Set design provided by House of Flowers, 1920 Algoma Boulevard. To find replay times for Oshkosh Today, to be a guest on the show, or to watch online, visit our website at oshkoshcommunitymedia.org.